welcome back to your work. We're so excited to have you here today for this fun little interviews. How is your day going so far?
Well, first, Taylor, thanks for having me. I was really excited. I've been looking forward to this all day, all morning. My day is good. Weather's nice. It's part of the year where gingers like myself love it, where it's warm but not too hot where I burn. So how about yourself?
Going good. Early morning, start, setting everything up, but It's been good. Like you said, the weather's great outside, so
Absolutely.
Perfect. So
Absolutely.
Just to start us off, really wanted to get to know more about your adventure to Maryville and kind of how you started in high school to college and then how you ended up here at Maryville.
Okay.
Yeah, so kind of that process.
The whole gamut. So you want to start in high school. So high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yep.
Right. I kind of followed through college as well. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just wanted to be successful. Didn't know what that meant. Yeah. Right. Successful in my head as a 17-year-old male was basically fancy suits, Manhattan office, an Escalade. Not sure how I was going to afford all these things, but I was going to have that at some point. So that went to college. I thought I was going to be a lawyer. Okay, I was like, well, I'll be a lawyer, right? I see all these movies and TV. I like to talk. I like to communicate. Persuasion was always a thing that I enjoyed, persuasion. And then, Taylor, I found out how much reading you have to do.
Yeah.
In the first 10 years of your career as a lawyer sucks.
Yeah.
I found that out. I was like, it's good if you can make it past the first 10 years. So I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Changed my major a couple times, went to advertising for a little bit, went to public relations for a little bit. Finished in PR, and basically I said, this is fantastic, but I got to know people, right? I didn't have any family or friends that could connect me with anyone whatsoever, so I started going to these networking events locally, and what it looked like was I was basically the only 21-year-old in a room of 45 plus, right? Didn't belong, didn't think I belonged. Talked to some people, talked to the right people who opened doors for me. I was sweating, by the way. I was not comfortable, right? I kind of extrovert now, it was not then, right? So I kind of had to force myself through that and introduce me to some people. I got me a full-time job with the Obama campaign. Wasn't really a politics person necessarily, but it was a great opportunity. It was big stage. At this point, I was working for Spencer's. I was doing PR and branding for Spencer's, which was cool, right, for a college job. But that kind of set the stage, though, was the Obama campaign, which opened doors for White and Kennedy, Pepsi, Nike, LeBron, those kind of things, but all kind of stemmed from that hockey stick moment career-wise. And ever since then, never looked back.
Wow, no, that's amazing. You really do have an amazing story from beginning to where you are now. So what would you say is your most impactful moment here teaching at Maryville? And then I know you also teach at Stanford as well. And what would you say is also what brings you the most joy when you're teaching?
So that's a good question. That's a super good question. I'll get a little nerdy here for a second because I genuinely, this isn't like the PR answer. Maryville doesn't pay me every time to say this. I genuinely like that face-to-face aha moment where someone says, it's not the whole class, this. There's some classes where some students hey, I'm here to, get the grade, move on my life. But some students really get into it, right? And say, I really want to do that career-wise, or I never thought about doing that, or I never thought about putting these things together, I never thought about this. That's what gets me going, right? That moment in the classroom I nerd out about. Don't tell Maryville, but I would do it for free, right? So how I justify it, I also have those luxury side of me, which I do corporate gigs right now. I work with corporations, and that's what pays for the fancy stuff. But the classroom stuff is just passion. I just do that stuff to be able to afford to be in the classroom and do these kind of things. I love it. Don't tell my boss this, but I do it for free. I love that moment. Sure.
No, as someone who's taken your classes, it really does show when you're teaching and everything. So it's just really amazing to hear all those stories and see that you actually enjoy what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
And then also we kind of wanted to discuss, as of right now, what are your plans moving forward? So maybe for the next couple years, whether that be for teaching or just other stuff outside of teaching, what are your kind of big plans you've got going on?
Okay, well, first, go to my website. No, I'm kidding. So, I think my passion in life, where I want to kind of leave a stamp, even if it's a small stamp, right? I think of legacy or whatnot. What I'm passionate about is providing engaging and actionable education. Like those are my two kind of things. I wanted to be kind of fun in a way that you want to show up, you want to kind of learn, you want to do the readings, right? So engaging, but then actionable in the sense that it's not just theories, right? It's like, oh, I can do that now, right? I can get a job doing that immediately. But I think moving forward, my kind of career goals is how can I do that at scale for anyone, even if they can't afford to be in college, right? I mean, college prices are just going up and to the right, right? So, and I know most of my friends, I'm the only one with a college degree, right? That I grew up with.
Yeah.
So like, how can I provide that engaging, actionable education for a diverse group of individuals who maybe can't afford college? Maybe it's that single mom who is, 40 years old that can't, have the time necessarily to go to a traditional classroom. How can I give her the exact same experience, right? And how can I do it at largest scales possible, right? Not like an influencer. I have no interest in being an Instagram influencer or a TikTok influencer, but like I do LinkedIn learning courses, right? That are free. You can take those for free. You get a certificate that helps with how can I share more certificates? Like you've gotten certificates in classes to help you get careers. How can I do that at scale, right? That's the passion.
No, that's truly amazing. Like those certificates, honestly, are really nice. They take time, obviously, but they're nice to kind of put on your LinkedIn and be like, hey, I have these fancy little certificates that I did. So that's definitely amazing. Just fun little question. I know in the past you've talked about your love for hip hop music.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So kind of what led you to getting into hip hop music and how it impacts your teaching or even just your personal everyday life and stuff like that.
Okay, so now I'll really nerd out with you. I absolutely love hip hop. I love hip hop. I think how it started was just childhood. I think in the area that I grew up in was mostly everyone listened to hip hop. So I think that was just the culture I lived in. That's all it was, really. I don't have some thing that like I went to a concert and changed my life. I think it was just friends, right? And that's kind of all I heard growing up. But kind of moving on, especially because there's a big moment where in like high school, I switched schools, right? And I went to a more not rural, but a more basically white prominent area, right? And I saw, wait a minute, this isn't the world I'm used to, right? It was a culture shock a little bit for me. And I noticed how hip hop kind of changed things, not just music wise. Like I'll listen to music. I'm a big Drake fan. I've got on my car right now. But I got 21 Savage, I think, right now in the car. But I saw how hip hop was making a role, not just with people listening to hip hop, but like advertisements, right? How hip hop was showing in advertisements, selling Beats, right? The headphones. That was like the time when Beats was started to be a big craze. I saw, hip hop showing up right now in State Farm commercials, right? Like movies, TV shows. I'm a big fan of 50 Cent and how he moves. Like music is awesome, but I'm also a big fan of like how 50 Cent just moves with productions and has a hand in like the Power is his show that he made. He has all these like different water bottles and whatnot, and seeing that impact on persuasion, I believe hip hop has had a larger impact than literally anything else as far as how we persuade people to buy stuff, listen to stuff, watch TV, things like that. It's fascinating. That's fascinating.
No, that's really cool. And as you were talking about kind of advertising and everything, I know in classes you've talked about learning how to influence different generations and everything. So specifically me as a Gen Z, but also you are now starting to try and figure out how to advertise and get to Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
And I know yourself have 2 Gen Alpha kids.
Yes.
So I kind of wanted to know how having Gen Alpha children kind of impacts your ability to advertise to them, and if it is easier or if it makes it harder.
Super good question. Can I give a pause and give you your flowers? Do you ever watch Hot Ones?
Yeah.
So I think Hot Ones, I forget his name, the host of Hot Ones has like the best questions ever, like thorough research. You're doing a great job research-wise, right? These aren't just general top-of-the-water questions. So I'll give you your flowers first. Yeah, I have 2 great kids, 7 and a 3-year-old, and what I'm kind of passionate about, basically, that's when I was young-wise, I basically hijacked how to basically sell to millennials, right? That's how I worked on Spencer's and whatnot, the Obama campaign, Nike, millennials. And with Gen Z, I've been working on it, Gen Alpha. I actually have a company, geninsights.com, that is basically, we work with companies how to sell to or communicate toward Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Gen Alpha, to your question. I'm telling you, if you're not paying attention to Fortnite, to Roblox, to Minecraft, if you're not paying attention to those three things, you're missing the boat. And it's not like video games, like Madden, right? It's not like Call of Duty. It's not video games in that sense. It is a community online where the most attended concert of all time is Travis Scott inside of Fortnite. Like, it's a social community where I'm buying Nike hoodies for my character, right? Which will then cause me to want to buy Nike in the real world. It's all going to start Generation Alpha. It's the first step is those virtual worlds. How can I have concerts that then sell for Spotify, right? How can I buy hoodies that sell toward, right? That's the main focus for Gen Alpha.
Yeah, no, I just heard about the Lady Gaga concert that happened in Fortnite. So clearly they're making a big impact on that.
You will have this interview inside of a Fortnite or some sort of virtual world and someday.
Yeah, we're pushing for it actually behind the scenes.
I love it.
But yeah, no, really thank you for coming here, and it was amazing talking to you. And obviously I've had your classes before, but just being able to talk individually and get to know you more and just kind of your life experience is really amazing. So we really appreciate having you here today.
Taylor, thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.